Hi everyone, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Dark Sector for the PS3 on brutal difficulty mode, and I really need to apologize for not being able to include this first boss in my guide because I lost the footage, and when I went back to try to reload this chapter, it stated something like if I reload that checkpoint area, I'll have to resume from there without any save data. And I don't think I could start a chapter select with difficulty selection, so I will tell you how to beat that guy. All you need to do is it's the fight versus the what's the thing called? It's the first boss you face in this level. All you need to do is shoot the incendiary tanks in the back of the Jeep or the truck, whatever it is, and then throw your blade into the fire. And then you'll notice in front of the main area there is a black spiderweb area, so burn that up with the flame, and then use your aftertouch to aim the boomerang into the area where the malfunctioning electrical panel is, and then once you have that infused into your blade, just throw it at the enemy, and once he's subdued, just run around to his rear and then mount him like I'm in him right now. It's called a Vulcan or something. I don't know what this jackal. It's called a jackal. Fucking jackal. Sorry about that. And I apologize. It's not going to happen again. Trust me. I'm just on a very strict personal timeline, deadline, I should say. But that, I think that's I don't know if there's any other times where we're riding a jackal except on the final chapter, and it's pretty damn tough. So my recommendation will be to alternate between the two jackals in the final chapter. There's going to be a couple of them that you could go back and forth in to preserve your hit damage. So this is chapter 5. It's called the Shipment, and the next chapter is called the Bait. And we're going to get a new ability up ahead, so make sure you grab all this cash right here. And the power we're going to get, I don't know its name, so we'll have to wait till it appears on the screen. Oh, the energy pulse. This is a very good technique. Charge your glaive with any element and then click in on the right analog stick to do area damage. Now, this is a very good technique, and all you need to do, like the tooltip said right there, is get your blade with fire. It can even be with ice or electricity later, anything. And then once you suspect that your glaive is near the enemies, it's kind of hard when you're throwing it in third-person mode to judge the distance it's traveled. You can even go in the aftertouch mode and then do it in first-person mode, but it's just as difficult there because you don't know if it's going to time out, and it's hard to it's hard to judge the actual draw distance of the animation. So on the final boss, I heartily recommend using the aftertouch to take care of the guy who's controlling the main mechanism. I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you like doing area damage, this is a very good attack for you because it just has a wide area of effect attack that decimates enemies. It's very good. But yeah, I really was struggling on the final boss of this game, and then I did that move because I wanted to test its destructive powers, and it works very well. Anyway, so we're outside of this warehouse right here. We got a couple of tough fights in this chapter. No boss to speak of, I don't believe, except if you want to include the chopper. It's kind of a boss, I guess. But if you're on the fence about this game, just let me tell you that I'm a really picky guy, and it does have some. It's not even really there's no problems with this game. It's just that they decided to have a lot of enemies that are the same spawn at the like in this level or the next level forward. So like half of the game is really just not very creative. but technically it works like a dream. It works really well. There are a couple things I wish were different, like being able to shoulder swap, even though you're not in cover, and maybe some other choices like enemy drops and things like that. Maybe a higher difficulty, because this difficulty is honestly not that challenging. And you might ask why I'm even doing a guide for it. It's because this game not only is very good, but people will need help beating this game, because even though it's not challenging for me, it could be for others. And I'm not saying that it was never at any point challenging, it's just that I've gotten very good at it, having played it a lot of times. Ooh, that was a nice nice decapitation right there. So if you're on the fence about getting this game, just jump on over that fucking fence and buy it, because you could get it for like $15 brand new. Used, you could probably get it for like $5 or $10 probably. And let me tell you what I believe that this game is better than. And obviously everything I say is biased and subjective, but it's better than it's on the same level as Heavenly Sword, but it's better than Killer is Dead, it's better than Shadows of the Damned, it's better than the new Resident Evil game, it's better than a lot of shooters, it's better than Dead Space 3, much better than that game, because that game's shit. It's not like Dead Space 2 obviously is a lot better, but Dead Space 3, they really dropped the ball on that game. But it's just very good, and I know I mentioned a couple Suda51 games in that list, but his games are so fucking atrocious, it's not even funny. And this guy's spazzing out. There's this game called Payday 2, and I was watching the IGN review for that game, and they said that the single player experience is broken, but they still gave it a fairly good score. Like, how could a game? I just don't understand how a single player campaign could be literally broken. So I've seen a lot of people playing that game and they hate it because it's broken. But that game should have got, like, if it's broken, give it like a 5 or a 4. But it's definitely better than that, because this single player experience is not broken. It's very good. So watch out for the enemies coming out here. It's kind of a cheap tactic, but throw your grenades if you want to. And we're gonna have some guys in the hazmat suits throwing Efron grenades at us amidst all the gunfire. So if you wanted to, you could stay back here. It's pretty safe. But the only problem is your blade might actually time out. And I haven't addressed this, but you do have iframes. You have, like, you don't get torn to shreds even when you're in first-person mode. It's like the game pacifies a lot of the enemies. You still can take damage when you're in the aftertouch mode and you're throwing and aiming the glaive. But I've never died when I've been throwing the glaive in first-person mode and taking my time aiming it, trying to cut off a head or a limb. I have been interrupted. I've been trying to aim it and then an enemy hit me, like, not from a bullet, but one of the standard enemies that just hits you with his arms, those monsters. I've been taken out of the animation, but I've never, even on this mode, oh, look at this lag right here, so disoriented. I thought I was going to die coming out of that, getting shot up or something, but I've never, not even on brutal mode have I ever, even though I've been getting hit during aftertouch, I've never died. So once you exit the warehouse, we're going to go to the next section and we're going to do a stealth kill, but I think we have to do a little bit of walking around first. So make sure you collect all your ammo, get all your money, get your cash money, and here's the cutscene right here. Okay, so I don't believe there's any objects outside. To the left and to the right is the way to go. They both lead to the same place. And then we're going to do the stealth kill, the only stealth kill in this game. And then we're going to take this guy's sniper rifle. And this weapon doesn't have a governor on it, so you can take your time and really get in some good shots, even though I missed the majority of my shots because the sight keeps wobbling around from the wind effect that the game does. So I'm really bad at compensating for that. But even though I say that this weapon doesn't have a governor on it, it seems like you'll hear that little beeping sound at some point. I don't know why. Maybe if you have one round left, it'll start expiring. But other than that, it's pretty fair. We're going to have to take out a rocket launcher, or excuse me, use a rocket launcher to take out a chopper pretty soon after we slay all these enemies. And then we have some kind of boring parts coming up that I just don't like. They're puzzle based, and we have the melee enemies to kill, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I just don't understand how they could have such a great game going and then just have the game just disintegrate into this uncreative, just boring experience. And I'm sticking to my opinion about this game. It's good. It's a really good game. And there's no problems with it. That's the thing. I mean, you could, if you really wanted to dig deep, I'm sure you could find some minor issues with it, but issues aren't the same as opinions about like how it should be. You know, issues are pretty much objective, and they're fair. Sure, you could say this game sucked if you wanted to, but that's not really about how it performs, unless you're basing your criticism on a lack of performance. But it does a very competent job at shooting and having this particular function work. It's just the same as Heavenly Sword. In that game, even though it's kind of lame, you know, the parrying system, having two different parries for parryable attacks and non-parryable attacks is really dumb. But anyway, so you could actually pick up the rocket launcher ammo before you even get the rocket launcher. Make sure you kill everybody though before you go up too far. And these enemies are pretty neat, I think. So saving right there, there's your checkpoint. You can go back and get the rocket launcher, or you can just come up here. There's a couple rocket launchers for you to get. It's the same deal as in the first chapter. You just need to aim the reticle over and just hover the reticle over the chopper until those lines move in and it forms a solid circle. Just be very careful. You can get killed extremely easily if you get hit by the rockets. But this game is pretty fair about not killing you, so quickly. There is a little issue with that on the final boss, but otherwise it really isn't like the hardest difficulty on like Gears of War or Uncharted, where the slightest mistake will just put you back at a checkpoint. It's really not like that. It's more fair, but it does come at a price. It's a little easier than those games. So just jump down here. You got a checkpoint in that little scene, and the first thing you're going to want to do is just take care of the one guy who jumps out here. But did you notice how I took the rocket launcher from checkpoint to checkpoint? You could do that in the final chapter too with the minigun. Take it all over the damn place, even though you walk very slowly. Okay, there's going to be one more caged foe jumping out here. I think it's the dog. Make sure you grab your briefcase with the firepower. That's a good upgrade card right there. That's very good. And I'll probably be applying things like those, like the firepower one, not to make the game easier, even though it will, but just to kill enemies faster. A lot of these long fights, these long drawn-out fights, I can decrease the amount of time that I'm wasting killing them. So when you get over to this area, you're going to have some shotguns for the taking, so just pick these up. And we're going to have some of these main monsters come out. Now, how this puzzle works here, you notice we're on a 10-minute timer. You have plenty of time here, unless you simply don't know what's going on with the puzzles like I didn't the first time I played this game. But what you need to do is to shoot. I know you can't see it. I don't know why this was happening here with the water. It normally would let me view the trash barrel over there fine. But you have an incendiary jug over there, so just shoot that, and it'll cause this debris over here to move, so it'll form a platform for you to walk on. And then what you need to do now is throw the glaive at the electricity, and then use the aftertouch mode to aim it at the door and short circuit it. And that's the first task. And I don't think you get a checkpoint until later. You really won't need one, honestly. And you should just, if you walk over an item in this game, he should just pick it up. It's just ridiculous that you have to wait so long, you know, to correctly hover over the item with your person. Oh, you do get a save point. To hover over the item with your person and then hold down on the square button. 'Cause sometimes I'm holding down on the square button and it doesn't even recognize that I'm pressing the square button. So I have to let go of the square button and hold down again. And it's just, I don't know. That should be an obsolete mechanism, that whole deal. But right here we have a kind of a tense situation here. We need to throw the glaive through these narrow little slots here. So I believe the enemies are finite. So once you get a break, just throw this through the slot right here. They could be infinite, I'm not sure, but if you are really running down on time, be careful. So you have to throw it through this slot. Oh, I didn't know what I was doing right there. So just wait until there's a lull in the enemies, then throw it through there. Oh, I missed it. Throw it through the slot, and then move the analog stick up, and it's pretty generous. You don't even have to hit the center of the mechanism. And then we're going to be moving on to the next chapter, I believe. Unless there's another puzzle left. Yeah, one more puzzle left. Oh, this is the more tricky of the puzzles as far as moving the glaive. Beware of that dog right there. It's just more involved movements of the analog stick. So just go on the debris right there. There we go. And I don't think the enemies follow you. So I just need to hustle my ass over there. That's not what you're supposed to do. But you see the thing on his right arm? That is the shield. Whenever you see that glowing, you can use a shield. If it's dim, you can't use a shield. So this can be kind of frustrating, but fortunately, they're really generous about where you can actually hit the panel. So move back if you have to. And then just dip it down and then raise it up. See how generous that was? That's nice. Like, things like that wouldn't be fine-tuned in other games, but they are in this game, and that just shows you how much work they put into this game. It's obvious how much they did. I believe that will be the conclusion of the chapter. Make sure you grab your... Oh, very important to grab this item up here. I almost didn't look back. I knew there would probably be something up there, and I think it's an upgrade card. Yeah, that's very important to have that. So don't miss that.